We do not live in a metaphysical world. We present the existence of things we have not seen, tasted or touched as evidence and make excuses to worship them, without even knowing why we worship them. This thing called the mind is a really interesting structure. What we call the eternal soul is actually consciousness. There is nothing that flies away from the body. When consciousness is completely gone, you are finished. The body is an inanimate object. Inanimate, unconscious objects are permanently dead. For a conscious being, death is an inevitable end. Kabbalists, mystics and spiritualists have managed to create a world of fear by decorating the reality of death with magic, mystical and paranormal deceptions, and to turn this reality to their advantage. Their aim is to gather the masses under one roof with the belief in one God to rule and exploit them with the master-slave system. They kill those who do not obey with a mass slaughter called harvest, and with this fear, they suppress their brains and turn them into robots that cannot object or question. The millennia-long quest for immortality may end with the 2045 project. This can be achieved with artificial intelligence and DNA synthesis, but it is difficult to predict what will happen next. DNA is like a hard drive. The brain is the processor. If the processor is modified by someone else rather than the engineer who produced it, it will lose its originality and become a tool specific to the person who produced it. If artificial intelligence takes control, the idea of eternal life could lead to eternal destruction. Maybe this is necessary. We are the biggest disaster that has ever happened to the universe. We are greedy tyrants who use nature's power of creation to destroy. We have created a dream world for ourselves in real life. We constantly miss out on real life. The situation we are in is like a cat playing with the mouse it caught before eating it. Someone is playing with us. They use religion and politics for this. We are evolving, developing. It is certain that we will have even more superior technology, but I wish we would not use this technology power to destroy each other. Unfortunately, this cycle has always been this way. Ambition is power, and power has always been defeated by ambition. In the past, we may have reached the highest level of technology and then fallen into decline, or vice versa. In any case, we have not been able to conceal the fact that destroy is the law of nature. Because it is nature that gives us this instinct. Every conscious being that carries life has this instinct. Religions are tales of good intentions with which we mask this instinct of destruction within us and give the innocent people to drink as sherbet the poison of our ambition. It has many listeners and believers. It is a powerful hypnosis. To get rid of its effect, we must shake ourselves, free our minds and get out of this circle. Those who cannot escape this hypnosis console themselves by believing that they will live an immortal life, even though they have seen the reality of death. This belief is a reflection of our inner desire for immortality. Your exploiters have used this belief for their own benefit. If they had a God who was infinitely powerful and infinite, as they say, he would not promise immortality, but would give it to anyone right now, and would dispel all mysteries. It would strengthen the faith of those who have hopes for imaginary eternities in their imaginary world's heavens, but there is no such example in world history and there never will be. Because the God they created does not have such power. The only thing I can say to the religious, scientific and political figures who gather the masses by selling dreams in this fantasy world and who intimidate the masses with this, and to the unconscious masses who follow them, is this. You are not the chosen ones. The chosen ones are those who see through the eyes of Ra. In other words, the idols you tear your hair out for are your idols and the bosses who created them. They are the elite who will be saved in the arks or Noah's Ark, and unfortunately you will not be among them. You and your children will continue to be their slaves and puppets with the hope of heaven and eternal life. As long as this world exists. Well, can one live without religion? You may ask. Of course it can, and in the most beautiful way. Look at nature. Do animals, the lion and the gazelle, the wolf and the lamb, have a religion? Or the natives, whom you call primitive, who live with them? But they know what will happen when the gazelle enters the lion's territory and the lamb enters the wolf's territory. That's why the lion and the wolf are always waiting in ambush. This is exactly what the clergy and politicians do to us. They are like twin brothers. They deceive with religions and destroy those who are not deceived with their political decisions. This modern life they have created is modern slavery. Wildness, natural selection, is present in the genes of all living things. I explained the reason for this. And the solution. Neither religion nor politics can eradicate this from us. On the contrary, it feeds it. We have seen, are seeing this. Who knows, maybe they're right. They really do have a giant God in the sky, and he created us and put us here. If this is true, it is impossible, after so many examples, to believe that he is good. In this nature where the strong destroy the weak, a God who is not on the side of the weak, ignoring them, does not deserve respect in my opinion. Don't close your eyes to the realities of life and miss out on life. You are the only one. You are one. Take your head out of the sand. Don't feed yourself to them. Let's live this life but freely. Nature has given us this chance.